Hello friends, today in this video we are going to talk about kidney. So first we will start with the anatomical structure of kidney, then we will go to the function of kidney. So let's start with the macroscopic view of kidney. So if you can see, this is a kidney, this is a typical kidney. The outer layer is covered by renal capsule. Now what is renal capsule? Renal capsule is a fibrous coating of the kidney. Now inside the kidney, we have pyramid-like structure that we call as renal pyramids. Inside renal pyramids, we have the structural and functional unit of kidney that we call it nephron. We'll come to nephron after some time. Now, in between renal pyramids, we have renal column. Now, this renal column separate renal pyramids from one another. Now, from the capsule to the renal pyramids, the whole area we can call it as cortex, and starting from the renal pyramids to the whole kidney, we can call this part as medulla. So kidney is divided into two parts, one is corticular part and one is medullary part. Corticular part start at the capsule and ends at the beginning of the pyramids, and medullary part start at the beginning of the pyramids and end till the kidney. Now this from the renal pyramids, as I already said that nephron is present inside this. From nephron, collecting ducts arises, and all the collecting ducts meet at the base of the pyramids. This part we call it as minor calyx. So at the base of the pyramids we will have minor calyx, and this all the collecting ducts passes through the kidney to the helix of the kidney, and this area we call it as major calyx. So in the base of the kidney we have minor calyx, and at the starting of the helix we have minor calyx. Now let us talk about the blood supply to the kidney. The kidney blood supplied by renal artery, and it is again all the blood enters to the kidney by renal artery and it circulates out through renal vein. So all these structures are held together by paranephric fat. So these are the paranephric fats. So this is about the structure of the kidney. Now let us come to the structure of now in nephron we have one efferent arteriole that gives blood towards the nephron and one efferent arteriole that gives blood that takes blood away from the nephron. Now you can blood is entering through this and blood is coming out through this. You can remember by this like A comes before E. So efferent is giving blood to the nephron and efferent is taking away blood from the nephron. Now this efferent and efferent arterioles make one glomerulus in the Bowman's capsule. Now this is the Bowman's capsule of the nephron. This efferent and efferent arterioles make one glomerulus inside the Bowman's capsule. Now this glomerulus and the Bowman's capsule together it is called Malpighian corpuscles. This glomerulus, this is the glomerulus that is made by efferent and efferent arterioles, and this is the Bowman's capsule. These two structures together called Malpighian corpuscles. Now this Bowman's capsule continue as proximal convoluted tubules, and now this portion we call it as loops of Henle. We have three part in the loops of Henle. One is thin descending loop. This is thin part and this is descending down, so it is called thin descending loop. Then thin ascending loop. This part is thin and it is ascending up, so it is called thin ascending loop. Then thick ascending loop. This part is thick and it is also ascending up, so it is called thick ascending loop. This whole part continue to distal convoluted tubules. So this is distal convoluted tubules which connect to the collecting ducts. About collecting ducts I have already mentioned in our macroscopic view of kidney. So this is the collecting duct that I was talking about in the macroscopic look of kidney. From the efferent arterioles, one connection of capillaries comes to the proximal convoluted tubules and we call it as vasa recta. Now what is the function of vasa recta? Vasa recta helps in the reabsorption and secretion in between kidney, in between nephron and the blood vessels. Like something is reabsorbed inside the nephron and something is reabsorbed from the nephron to the blood vessels and something is again secreted from the blood vessels to the nephron. So vasa recta continue to the length of the nephron. Now this is the basic structure of the nephron. Now moving to the function of nephron. Now this in this structure we can easily find out the function of nephron. Now here the function starts from here. This F, this is called filtration. This R stands for reabsorption. We have one R here, one R here, one R here, one R here. So this R stands for reabsorption. Reabsorption means the substances that is reabsorbed to the blood vessels from the nephron. That is called reabsorption. And again here S stands for secretion. So secretion are the substances that is again secreted from the blood vessels to the nephron. These are called secretion. And E stands for excretion. So let's start with filtration. So filtration are the substances that comes through the glomerulus to the Bowman's capsule. So this is glomerulus and this is Bowman's capsule. We have some groups of cells that is called podocyte cells. Through these podocyte cells, some substances used to comes inside the nephron. So what are the substances that actually comes inside the nephron? So the major substances that comes inside nephron is water. We have sodium, we have chloride, we have potassium, and we have bicarbonate. Some amount of glucose used to comes inside, amino acids comes inside, and creatinine and urea, these are majorly comes inside the nephron. Like what are the substances that don't comes inside the nephron? These are proteins, big molecules of proteins that never blood never used to comes inside filtration. So protein and bloods that never used to comes inside filtration. Now in the PCT area, this is the proximal convoluted area. What thing used to reabsorb? Sodium, chloride, potassium, these ions, around 65% of these ions is reabsorbed in this area. Water, around 65% of water is reabsorbed. Glucose, around 100% of the glucose is reabsorbed in this area. Amino acids 100% reabsorbed, because glucose and amino acids, these are the important substances for the maintenance of our body. So these substances are 100% reabsorbed. Bicarbonate 90% reabsorbed. So these are the substances that is reabsorbed from the proximal convoluted tubules. Now what are the things that is secreted from proximal convoluted tubules? This is uric acid, this is organic acid. These two are the substances that is secreted again, because these are not that important for our body, so we need to excrete these things out. So it is again secreted from the blood to the proximal convoluted tubules. And in the loops of Henle, in the descending loops of Henle, only water used to reabsorbed, and in the ascending loops of Henle, sodium chloride used to reabsorb together. Now here is one important thing in the DCT reabsorption. DCT reabsorption, water is mainly reabsorbed by the action of ADH hormone. This is the hormone that is secreted by the hypothalamus, stored in the posterior pituitary. We'll talk about this later, but ADH function is more majorly on DCT and somewhat in collecting duct also. So ADH here, reabsorption of water in DCT and collecting duct is majorly by ADH action. So these are the things. Again here secretion used to take place, like sodium, hydrogen ions used to secrete, and potassium and this actually it's depending on the acidity of the body. If our body is slightly acidic, then this kind of things used to be secreted. If it is not that acidic, then this kind of thing don't used to be secreted. It's depend on the acidity of the body. Now at last, what are the things that is excreted in the form of urine from our body? The majorly it is water, NaCl used to be there, creatinine used to be there, urea used to be there, and some amount of potassium and bicarbonates. This used to be excreted out of the body in the form of urine. So this is the basic function that is taking place in the nephron. So that's it for today. I hope you all have understand today's topic. See you soon.